Sumer occupied the southern part of modern Iraq in the region called Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia means between two rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. Around 5000 BCE, early Sumerians used irrigation channels, dams, and reservoirs to redirect river water and farm large areas of previously bone dry land. Agricultural communities like this were slowly springing up around the world, but Sumerians were the first to take up the next step. Using clay bricks made up from river muds, they began building multi-story home and temples. They invented the wheel, a potter's wheel, for turning mud into household goods. Those clay bricks gave rise to the world's first cities, probably around 4500 BCE. At the top of the city's social ladder were priests, who were considered nobility, then merchants, craftsmen, farmers, and enslaved people. The Sumerian Empire consisted of distinct states that operated like small nations. They were loosely linked by language and spiritual belief but lacked central control. The earliest cities were Rak, Ur, and eventually there were a dozen more. Around 3200 BC, Sumerians began to expand their reach. The potters found a new home on chariots and wagons. They built boats out of reeds and date palm leaves. With linen sails, they carried the vast distance by rivers and sea. To supplement scarce resources, they built a trade network with the rising kingdoms in Egypt and Ethiopia, importing gold, silver, lapis lazuli, and cedarwood. Trade was unlikely impetuous for the invention of the world's first writing system. Started as a system for accounting, Sumerian merchants conducting business with traders aboard after a few hundred years. The early pictogram system called turned into script. The Sumerians drafted up the first written laws and created the first school system designed for teaching craft of writing. In the school, scribes study from dawn to dusk, from children well into adulthood. They learnt accounting, mathematics, and copied works of literature, myths, proverbs, animal fables, and magic spells. The first epics on clay tablets. Some of those tablets told the story of Gilgamesh, a king of the city of Uruk, who was also the subject of mythical tales. But by the third millennium BCE, Sumer was no longer the only empire around, or even in Mesopotamia, waves of nomadic tribes poured into the region from north and east. Some newcomers looked up to the Sumerians, adopting their way of life and using the script to express their own languages. In 2300 BCE, the Akkadian king Sargon conquered the Sumerian city-states, but Sargon respected Sumerian culture, and Akkadians and the Sumerians existed side by side for centuries. Others invaded groups focused only on looting and destruction. Even as Sumerian culture spread, a steady onslaught of invasions killed off the Sumerian people by 1750s BC. Afterward, Sumer disappeared back into the desert dirt, not to be rediscovered until the 19th century. But Sumerian culture lived on for thousands of years, first through the Akkadians, then the Syrians, then the Babylonians. The Babylonians passed Sumerian inventions and trade traditions through along Hebrew, Greek, and Roman cultures. some even today.